Brought and carries everything, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations, gentlemen. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Yay. Okay, now, next item on the agenda is the interview and selection of installation of a person to fill position 4 until the certification of the next general election. So, and what council had asked is have each one of the candidates to come forward and give like a 2-3 minute speech on why they would like to be on council, and then council will adjourn to executive session to make their decision. I will let council know that Eddie Aubrey has taken back his application and decided not to seek the appointment, and Vic Cave had called, and he is on vacation, so he could not attend tonight's meeting. So with that, do you have a question?
Can we just clarify with the record that we're going to go to executive session to discuss qualifications, and we will come back here to make our decision in open council?
Correct. Oh, did I say that wrong? I'm sorry. Thank you. What I meant. I read my mind. Okay, anyway, long night.
And
Councilmember McMahon.
And as we talked about last week, the council may go to executive session, come back and invite one or more of the candidates to give some more longer time to interact with the council, with council questions, that kind of stuff. I think this stage first is we're just going to hear from them, and then we'll go to executive session and figure out
The process.
if they're open process. Yes, right.
Right? Council's in agreement? Okay. With that being said, we'll start with Dave Stuckey.
Dave Stuckey, 133 4th Avenue Southwest, here in the city. The reason I decided to run for the council was about 6 or 8 months ago, this council decided to give our city away. And being a longtime resident of the city, I took offense to that. I feel that when you're on the council, you're there to lead. And I'm not beating up on you. I recognize that you put a lot of time in the work that you do here. But sometimes you have to think about what you're doing. I think that there's a need to move things ahead. I think there's other avenues to move forward. I'm a mechanic by trade and feel that when you run into a problem, you take a look at it, you analyze it, you move around to another way to fix it. If you don't have the part, then you make a part and you put it together. I feel that this council's got enough talent on it that could be able to fix just about anything if they put their mind to it. If you get mad at one another, then nothing works right. And I just feel that as a person with quite a few skills that I just don't demonstrate all the time, I feel that there's a lack of several things. And as I went out visiting with people while I was campaigning, I'm really impressed with the quality of people that we have in our city. They're good, solid citizens, and I asked them a couple of questions, if any of them, if they had any block captains in any of their places, and they looked at me kind of dumbfounded. I feel the amount of time that the person that's in charge of the emergency preparedness has been in the office to come and tell you that he didn't know where his plan was 2 or 3 weeks ago was a slap in your face, Mayor. I feel that he should have a plan together already, operating and functional. He's had enough time to work on it. I feel that as a council, you have to demand that of the people that are here in the city and look at it. It's important. What are we going to do? We talk about if you got to move people out. I've worked with some of this, and I've been experienced a little bit with some of this stuff that's been around. Also, there's a language barrier here. You have quite a few people who don't speak English, quite a few that speak Spanish. and it's kind of fun to visit with them in their language, because they appreciate these kinds of things. I think that as a council, you have the opportunity to set the goals. I was looking at the plan that the city has got. I had them put it on a CD because it's easier for me to go through a CD than to go through these long reams of paper that you have. And the contract that came out tonight, I'm surprised it wasn't handed to you in a CD form so that you could scroll right to it and not have to thumb through 100 different pages to see what you want to look at. So I just think that some of these things that are going on here, the rules that are in this city should be on a CD form where if you have a computer, you stick it in. You want to check a resolution that you've made. I noticed...
Could you wrap it up? Your time is up.
Okay.
There's been time in it, so I'm sorry.
Okay. I'll do this. I just think that there's some things that can be improved.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Next is Barbara Lourdes.
Barbara Lourdes.
Could you bring the microphone down just a little bit? You can
Pull it down.
There you go. Thank you.
Not looking down at my nose. Okay. Because I'm short.
Thank you.
I was on City Council back from 2002 to 2009. I loved it. The City of Pacific. I've been here for 10 years, and I moved away for a short time when I wasn't working because there wasn't any place available. I needed to move. And I'm back, and I've been back for a while, and I love the City of Pacific. First thing I did when I came back was start coming back to City Council meetings, getting involved in Pacific partnerships again. And I love the city. Right now I'm not working. The position that I was working at was closed down, and everything moved back down south to Portland. So I am actively seeking work, but I'm also available to help the council, help the staff. I work in medical accounting. I have 3/4 of my degree in accounting, and I'm really good with numbers. When I was on City Council before, I was the chair of the Finance Committee for 2 years, and then I was also on Public Works. And I just love getting involved. Some of you I've known for a while, some of you I haven't. I just love the city, and I want to help any way I can. I want to be able to move the city forward. I want to see the council be able to get staffing up. I want to see the police department get their staffing levels up to where it used to be. We're still short, let's see, 1 sergeant and I think a patrol officer. I just want to help the city any way they can to get back on board and move forward and get out of the rut that we've been in. And I'm a positive person, and I don't get upset that easily. I have a good sense of humor. And I just basically just want to help the city, help the council. You know, if you need help with somebody volunteering here in the office and I'm not working, I'd be more than happy to help. I'm not the type of person who likes to sit and watch TV all day. I'll do arts and crafts or go for a walk or do something that I just love sitting in the City Pacific. And I'm done. Thank you. Within 30 seconds.
Thank you, Barbara. Okay, next up is Howard Gustafson.
My name is Howard Gustafson. I live over on County Line Road. I've lived there for the past 40 years. And since 1973 until the 90s, I didn't worry about much what was happening here in the City of Pacific because I was not in it. But in the 1990s, annexation started to be of interest. And I began to be concerned because I happen to live in an office park designation now, and I was wondering what was going to happen to me, whether we went to Sumner or whether we came to the City of Pacific. It seemed to me like Pacific was a lot better place to come, and so eventually this is where we've ended up. And I used to come down to the council and complain a little bit and make suggestions about how things should be run here in the city. And it wasn't long before I received a knock on the door, and somebody said, "Would you like to be in the planning commission?" And I thought about it a little bit, and I thought, well, why not? So I accepted the nomination, and I'm in my third 6-year term being on the planning commission now. And you're probably wondering, well, why did you stay there under so long? And the reason I did, because back from the time I was first appointed to what I was doing, I was on a church board assignment and a school assignment. And both of them took a lot of my time, to the point that I didn't feel that I had enough time to devote being a council member. However, in 2011, I had an accident and I crushed my pelvis. And in so doing, I had to give up some of the work that I was doing, but I kept on the planning commission. And now, after having been watching for the last year and a half as things that are going on here, I think maybe this is the time to, as Joshua said, move up from planning commission to city council. I'm glad to hear him say that. I hope it helps me a little bit. But anyway, I've decided that I have the time now, and this would be a good opportunity. I've never thought really of running against any of you, because I really believe in you folk, and I believe you've done a good job over the last several years with all the problems. And so that's why I've never put in to run for city council, and I'm not up for election this time. But I do feel that there's an opening now, and I think that I could contribute to it, and so I appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Howard. Okay, and our last candidate is Katie Herbert.
Katie Gerberding, 366 White River Drive. I moved to Pacific 4 years ago from the big city, and I started coming to the council meetings about 9 or 10 months later, because I wanted to see how the city operated and what it did. And flagpole was actually my main interest of showing up here. And I said, we got it fixed. The main reason that I wanted to come to you tonight was because, like said previously, with all that's gone on in the city, I would really like to be a part of and to help getting the city back on its feet and getting things functioning and working. And it just is something that I want to do to help with myself, with my kids, and the community. It's a great place to live, and I would just like to see it move forward and continue going on an uphill, facelift type, get back together type situation. That's it.
Thank you. So, and as I said, she was on vacation, so that is a candidate. So would council like to then move to executive session? The qualifications and come back? And how long would you be in executive session? 30 minutes?
We start at 15, just.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, let's start at 15.
Get out of here.
I was like, I'm joking, right?
I mean, it'll be ended up being 30, but we can.
Probably.
Okay, pretend it's 30.
So council will convene for 15 minutes in executive session to discuss
Qualifications for public
Appointment.
office, for appointment for public office.
Correct.
And we do anticipate action while we, did I do that right?
Yes, I believe you did, in 10 minutes, or 15 minutes to start. Try.